When I first moved to the UK, I had only £500 in my bank account. Fast forward 4.5 years later, I nearly have over £10,000 saved in my UK account, and all of this is tax-free. And if you are somebody who's planning to move to the UK or are already in the UK and would like to double your savings over the next couple of years, then this video is for you, because in today's video, I'll be breaking it down step by step on how I did this, and will be giving you some realistic tips as a physiotherapist working in the NHS. But before we move ahead, my name is Nikita and I make videos about moving to the UK as a healthcare professional, landing your interview, starting your dream life, and also will be sharing some financial tips that can help you fast forward your journey as a migrant in the UK. And if any of this is of interest to you, do not forget to drop me a subscribe on YouTube, but also follow me on Instagram. My handle is Physiotherapy in UK. So let's quickly chat about what we're going to be covering in today's video, and you will be able to find timestamps for them in the description below, so feel free to move to any section of the video that you would like. But the first thing that I'm going to be talking about is what happens to your money in the UK as an NRI, so that is a non-resident Indian, but also if you are any other sort of nationality and you're living in the UK and earning some good money that you would like to save. The second thing I'm going to be talking about is one big mistake that I made in my investing journey and how you can avoid it. And the third thing we're going to be chatting about is the exact system that I used in order to start building my savings and wealth in the UK, and how you can do the same. Right, so the first thing that we have to quickly understand is what happens to your money in the UK if you are earning a little bit extra and have a certain amount of balance that you can save in your balance accounts. Now, let's get one thing straight. In the UK, you mainly have two types of bank accounts. One is obviously your current account and the other is your savings account. Now, obviously, savings accounts are very different as compared to what we are used to back in our home countries. And again, if you need another video about this, let me know and I will make something in the future. But mostly, most of us receive all of our salaries in our current accounts. Now, these current accounts have a very poor interest rate, which is usually around 1.5 to 2%, or right now about 3%, because the bank rate is slightly higher. That being said though, if you are somebody who's planning to build serious wealth as a working professional in the UK, 3% is not going to cut it. So let's be honest, what are you going to do to boost your income journey in the UK? I initially thought that when I obviously was starting to earn a little bit of a higher salary as a band 6 physio in the NHS, I thought that obviously as somebody who's on a work visa, I wouldn't be allowed to access some of the different routes for saving options that are available in the UK because I was not a citizen. That was my biggest mistake, because honestly, one of the most efficient ways to save money in the UK is something known as an individual savings account or an ISA. Now again, an ISA is a tax wrapper which is present in the UK, which is absolutely amazing, because what that means is if you save any money in an ISA, you do not get taxed on any dividends or gains that you will be making while it is within the ISA limits. Now, why this is again something important to remember is because every year, that is from April, say for example 2025 to April 2026, each of us is given an overall ISA limit of £20,000. Now that might seem like a really high number. However, you've got to remember that there are 4 different types of ISAs. So you have your stocks and shares ISA, you also have a cash ISA, and you have a lifetime ISA. The 4th type of ISA is an innovator financing ISA, but the last 2 types of ISAs, which is the lifetime ISA and the innovator finance ISA, let's not worry too much about them because it might not be applicable to most of us, or it might be too restrictive. However, if you want a detailed explanation of how I saved money to buy my first home in the UK, then feel free to check out this video, which exactly explains how I use my lifetime ISA to build up a good enough deposit and buy my first home in the UK. So like I explained before, in order to open an ISA in the UK, you just need to be a UK tax resident. Now, what does this mean and how do you understand if you are a tax resident in the UK or not? So the most important criteria is for you to be working in the UK and paying tax to the HMRC. Other few criteria that you absolutely want to meet include the fact that you need to be spending at least 183 days or more in the UK in any given tax year. Your only home was in the UK for 91 days or more in a row, and you visited or stayed for it in at least 30 days of the tax year. You also work full-time in the UK for any period of 365 days and at least 1 day of that period in the tax year you're checking. But let's move to the 2 important ISAs that we're going to be chatting about right now. So we have the stocks and shares ISA and we have the cash ISA. Now, in terms of building your money in the UK, the first thing I would recommend is trying to have an emergency fund. I cannot emphasize how important this is. Because say for example, if you are living in the UK and you need an extra bit of money to, say for example, cover your visa cost, or maybe have certain household expenses, or even need money to send back home to India, then this emergency fund is going to be able to fund all of that without you dipping into your current account. I would recommend saving anywhere between 3 to 5 months of your essential savings. 3 to 5 months of savings might again seem like a really big number, but when I started initially building my emergency fund, it was only about £500 that I was putting away until I built up about £3,000 to £4,000 over the last 3 years. So like I said, it doesn't have to be done today, but it could be something that you are working towards in the long term. Now again, this emergency fund needs to be in an easy access account that you can tap into really quickly if you do need the money for any emergencies that might come. This is where your cash ISA comes in, because your cash ISA provides you with really good interest rates, while most of them can be easy access. Now again, a cash ISA is, like I said, something that is within the tax wrapper of the ISA. So any gains that you might make on interest within this particular account is completely tax-free, and you do not need to be worried about it as compared to any interest that you might make on your saving account or your current accounts, because those accounts might be taxable beyond a certain point. Once you've got your emergency fund sorted out and this money is safely tucked away in the wrapper of your cash ISA, I would suggest you then want to focus your attention to a stocks and shares ISA. The stocks and shares ISA is, like I said, somewhere that you can save up to 10 to 15,000 of your income on a yearly basis. Now again, this is a place where actual wealth is built, because this includes a lot of different type of options for you. It includes things like ETFs, global bonds, funds, etc. And like I said, none of the dividends from this particular account are taxed. So all of the money that you make in this account is yours to keep, and the government cannot use it or tax you on it. Again, just a bit of a disclaimer here. I am not a financial advisor, and all of the advice I am providing is based on my personal experience, and investment can be a risky business with your capital, so be cautious about it. So let's talk about what you should be investing in if you want to boost your income and your savings over the next couple of years. Now, as somebody who is in their late 20s or in their early 30s, I see myself working for the next couple of years. So I have employed a really aggressive investment strategy where not a lot of it goes into bonds or gold, because again, like I said, I see myself working for the next couple of years. That being said, if you are focused on an investment growth portfolio, what I would recommend is having 60% in global index funds, 30% in UK equity, and about 10% in emerging markets. Now again, I'm not going to tell you that this is a bulletproof strategy that is going to work for everybody out there, so make sure you do your own research, but this is something that I have used in the past and I have seen great returns with it. So again, if you do have any questions about it, feel free to drop them in the description below. But remember, your investment strategy is dependent on what you would like to accomplish out of your investments and savings and your risk appetite. So make those decisions maybe by speaking to a family member or your partner. So now that we've covered that, let's talk about the one mistake that really cost me a lot of money in my initial days. So as somebody who was obviously living in the UK and I started making a little bit of a good money when I started getting my band 6 salary, I thought that sending money back to India was the best way for me to save money, because obviously the interest rates in the UK were very low at sort of 1 to 2%, whereas obviously saving rates in India look more lucrative at sort of 7% or higher. That was my biggest mistake, because like I said, I did not know that I could use the ISA at that point. Had I known it, I would have started investing much earlier and would be able to build my interest or build my savings using something known as compounding. However, because I sent a lot of money back home initially to save, it really put me in a bad state, because right now, if you think about it, the ratio of GBP to India is 1 GBP is around 118 rupees, which actually does not make any sense now, because if I had to get all of that money back from India to the UK, I would be making a massive loss. So again, if you are somebody who is working in the UK and are struggling with your investment options or are struggling to understand how to save money, then drop those questions down in the comments and I will try and make videos about it in the future, especially if you are a healthcare professional who just needs to get a bit savvy with their finances. So let's talk about the exact steps, what you can start doing from today in order to be building your finances in the UK. The first recommendation I have is start by opening a stocks and shares and a cash ISA. Now again, the place where you choose to open an ISA can be really important, but not for the reasons that you are thinking, because obviously, some people will think, should we go with a branded provider that has been around for many years? So when you are thinking about picking a platform for investment, always look at something known as the OCF, which is ongoing charges or ongoing fees. Now again, it might seem like a very small thing to consider, but this would be one of the first things I would consider while choosing my platform to invest. Now, remember that a 0.5% difference in the OCF can result in massive changes. So say for example, if you have saved over £100,000 in the next 20 years, then a 0.5% difference would be about £25,000 that you would be paying your platform provider just for the opportunity of letting you invest in stocks or funds, etc., which again is not worth it, because those £25,000 could have easily been saved in your pocket had you made a good choice in your platform investment. Now again, if you are looking for platforms to open your stocks and shares ISA or your cash ISA, Invest Engine is a great option for you right now, because this is where I hold my ISA, and personally they've been nothing but great over the last couple of years. They are also running a really good introductory offer right now, and if you use my link in the description below and invest about £100 with them in the first month, then you would be getting a referral bonus of anywhere between £20 to £100, which I think is absolutely great in kicking start your journey of investment in the UK. Now, once you've opened your Invest Engine accounts, what you can do is simply create a portfolio for yourself. They have several different options over there, and I have discussed one of the options that I am using to build my own finances in the UK. So again, you could build a pie or a portfolio for yourself and start investing right off the bat. Now again, if you want me to make more videos about investing and being a savvy investor in the UK, let me know in the comments below and I will make more videos about it. But that's it from today's video, guys. Do let me know if you have any questions, and feel free to check out that referral link for Invest Engine so that you can start your investment journey in the UK. Take care.